like at your house soon, Whoop. 3, 4, 5 more up.
What?
8. He's going for 8 more.
8, that's what I heard. 2, maybe 3.
I tell you, the insolence on this show trying to keep the rest of the cast quiet for the opening title.
That's never gonna happen, man. We appreciate that you try.
Hello folks, welcome back to another episode of the Star Citizen Report with, like I say, kind of one of the loudest crews to try to get through a title opening. Alright, so right next to me, I got Memo.
Hey folks, good evening.
Alright, down here, got Woopnyo.
Alright.
Alright, and over in that corner, some guy behind a beard.
Hey, how's it going?
Brother Bear.
It's Bear. I have to grow a little bit of one someday, but don't hold your breath. Alright, welcome folks in the live chat, as well as those who watch this later on YouTube. So just to kind of go down quick, got a lot of news to pack into one show today and some very important stuff. The Reclaimer is out and still on sale for the next couple days, and one of the biggest ships, probably the biggest ship aside from the Idris, to get offered out by Cloud Imperium. We have the Retaliator gray box video, again another big ship a lot of folks are excited about. We hit some new stretch goals, there's some new fan voting out there. Got a sneak peek at Something Alien and their artwork, and the battle chair, which I've talked about in the past, is finished. So I do have some pictures of that a friend of mine was making. Alright. And just to go into also some other stuff on the side, and perhaps more important than Star Citizen. See if any of you guys criticize that. Yeah, I see the look on Wolf's face. More important than Star Citizen? Well, yeah. It's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we got the pink ribbon right here, the grievance logo on it.
Absolutely, Thamin. I mean, most families have been touched by different forms of cancer, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month is very important for grievance, and we're here to support it.
The fighting of it, not the actual cancer.
Yeah, we're not supporting cancer.
No.
That was well said, Bear. Thank you for stepping in there for me. I can always count on Bear.
We're having a great show so far, folks.
So one thing, you know, grievance, we've got the Gamer Girls, we've got a lot of lady members, but even if we didn't, we got wives, daughters, sisters. So I have to put that broadcasting it all through October, remind everybody.
Did you guys hear from Arlia recently?
Yes, talked to him earlier today by text stuff. He's doing fine and back in the other game we all play together besides Thamin. He'll be over soon though. That's what we've heard.
Alright, so we'll see Arlia back. Usually only have like 4 spots on the show during the week anyway, so everyone gets a little break.
Memo was not on this one this week, and Arlia had to take a step out, so I'm lucky enough to get on this one, which is fantastic because when we get to talk about the Reclaimer, I'm here for that.
Oh, one more thing before we get into it. The other important thing that's coming up later this month. Grievance, once again, is participating in Extra Life, Gamers Marathon for Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. And that's going to be on October 25th. We're going to be broadcasting 24 hours, midnight to midnight that Saturday here on Grievance's Twitch channel, which if you're watching later on YouTube, I'll throw it up there. Another important charity is that gamers take part in. All right. And if you are in Grievance, we've got just a few slots left to fill. So if you want to get in there, stream, get your game in, get in there. All right. All right, so let's talk about the Reclaimer. Memo, you want to jump in there?
Memo has made personal sacrifices to acquire a Reclaimer for himself. I had been lucky enough to get in on the special sale of the Super Hornet that they put up a while back. And while I could have went off and sold it on that one kind of market where you can, profit from ships, it was important to me that the Super Hornet stay in Grievance. So I passed that along to Arthedon, who's another Grievance member that will get a lot of use out of it and already has quite a bit in the trainer. But I made that personal sacrifice of losing that ship, which, as I've flown it in the trainer, and it was a disaster every time, I'm glad I got to pass it on to someone who will actually fly it effectively and use it. So now I have, in my fleet, consists of the Constellation and the Reclaimer. So I have a big ship, and then I have a really big, giant-ass ship. Okay. And one of the things that sold me on it is, I'm reading through the description, and it says multiple weapon points that you can put missile launchers on. I mean, missile barrages all over a big ship. I mean, that sounds so full of wind to me. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, surely somebody can follow that with something. Come on, Bear. Whoop.
And don't forget, even though Arthedon has the Super Hornet, when he does manage to crash and wreck it, Memo will be along to reclaim it.
Memo's still holding out for a Vanduul Scythe. I missed that special sale. I just couldn't do it at the time. And if they put that up again, I will have that fighter. But I mean, look at the Reclaimer. You can basically crush and mash a Constellation, and it can carry the remains back for parts and salvage.
Oh, I'm sure some of y'all have watched Firefly. There's
Seriously?
a part of the Reclaimer that looks like a fat Firefly. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of got that, I know that rugged look to it. I love it. I wished I could have got one, but JoJo told me the only way I could get one is if I bought her a puppy.
Hey, I'm voting for JoJo to get a puppy. Another big
send a puppy over.
One that's like 80 pounds is a puppy. I mean, because big dogs are great.
I mean, well, we've got one now. He's 200 pounds now.
You need another one.
Okay, tangent warning, so I'm going to have to steer us back. So, tell you folks a little bit about this Reclaimer and what we're talking to if you don't know. It's the dedicated salvage platform that they built. And they name it as the perfect ship for venturing into the verse in search of riches and secrets. Whether you're churning debris fields for raw ore or searching for lost artifacts, Reclaimer is built for utility. And this thing here, in addition to a large cargo hold, the hull is packed with reclamation equipment capable of processing and storing up to a Constellation worth of salvage.
That's a lot of salvage.
Yeah,
that is a lot of salvage. There was a member that posted in our Star Citizen forums, I'm sure we'll get to this later, about the new ship they're voting on. He wanted a repair ship to go out there, and I told him that anytime he had any issues, I could bring my Reclaimer out there to help him with his damaged ship. Haven't heard a response back on that yet.
Yeah, this thing sounds like you can put a lot of stuff on it. It's got a lot of hard points. You can mount defensive guns, missile batteries, additional
missile batteries.
Beams.
Now, Thamin, sorry to interrupt you, but they should have put that first, and then you wouldn't have had to read all that other stuff. You can put missile batteries all over the ship. I mean, after that, do you really need anything else? I mean, sorry, Thamin, go ahead.
And this being a ship, though, with its size, I was thinking its major combat tactics is to shoot whatever's flying circles around it. Well, that's
except for Memo. Memo's just shoot missiles. His missiles are just going to go out like a porcupine.
Push the button, the missiles do their thing. I mean, that's my style combat. From experience with the Hornet in the Arena Commander, I do best when I just push the buttons and the missiles go where they're supposed to.
And the monkey pushes the button.
You got it.
Looks like this thing's also got a pocket spacecraft. Manned cutter that can also carry tools and supplies for dismantling ships or bringing artifacts back aboard ship. Ben Lesnick. Oh, yeah. I got this from a friend. Ben Lesnick has reportedly said you can operate this with 2 humans and 3 AI. So you want to have a friend handy.
Is there any more details about the pocket spacecraft? Because that just sounds kind of interesting. Is it like the Merlin, or is it?
Includes a man cutter which may be deployed for extravehicular activity recovery operations. We imagine a salvage mechanic in which players exit their spacecraft in suits and maneuvering units to explore the wreckage. So it still sounds pretty. It doesn't sound really like defensible, just a tool to help with the job.
Just kind of like a manned rocket.
Something you can get up there and get up in the wreckage and see what's going on. Maybe get to the good stuff so you don't have to mess with all the trash. Okay, I'm down with that.
Doctor on robots? What?
Or you'll have to salvage.
Whoop has to go there. You never leave him an opening, or he'll go there.
A Van Duel's wing blade and put it on that thing, and then you got something to steer out there that'll help you out.
Right?
Dear God.
Now they have said. Again, this can change. Salvage capacity 20,000 standard cargo units. Cargo capacity 2,500. The intent is for the Banu Merchantman, Hull C, and Starfarer to have more pure cargo space than the Reclaimer, followed by the Caterpillar, and then the Freelancer Max. And they didn't include the Constellation in that, although from what I recall, the Freelancer Max holds about half the cargo of a standard Constellation.
That's because of the weapon loadout it has, correct, in the armor.
Okay.
That's why it holds less. That's basically the weapons barge, right?
No, the MIS is the weapons.
Is it? So why does it have less cargo space?
I think, well, the stats I'm getting, the report I'm getting, predated the Constellation variants. So that's why I kind of said standard Constellation.
Isn't the Max the Explorer and the DUR the Hauler? I think that's what it is.
No, the Max is the hauler. I think that's why they're Max and Max hauling.
I'm just gonna look it up, whatever.
Yeah, and I'll show you this little clip from Around the Verse 15 because Sandy and Ben Lesnick are doing a intro, and they kind of mention because the name of this thing has changed, and they kind of talk over that point. So let me get this on for a few seconds here.
The Max is the hauler, you're right. I'm thinking the DUR. Alright.
I'm going to play this.
You're right. Do what I care.
And now for our art sneak peek, which is the ship that we are going to have on sale tomorrow.
That's right. This one's a pretty big deal. Tomorrow we're going to have our first Wave 3 concept shell for the Reclaimer.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was formerly the Surveyor. We had a long internal discussion. It was almost the Collector. With dragon names, there was the Wyvern and the Drake. There was even a point where Chris Roberts suggested the Magpie since it collects bits of things, and we ended up with Reclaimer.
What do you think? That's a pitiful beard, Bear. Look at that.
Whoops, trying. I can't hold it.
I'm talking about the guy on this thing. That's pitiful.
Alrighty. So I thought it was an interesting discussion too. It's changed names a few times, so even Sandy got surprised there. Saying Reclaimers, like, what ship is that? Let's see. Okay. I thought this quote by Chris Roberts was pretty big here. The fact that so many players want to take part in salvage ops makes me more hopeful than ever. How many have we sold? Well, in the Reclaimer's description, we mentioned that it can store roughly a single constellation worth of scrap. In the current stats, always subject to change, a Bengal carrier weighs in at about 1,400 times a constellation, meaning that it would take 1,400 Reclaimers to haul it away as wreckage. Well, the UEE better watch out. We've released enough Reclaimers so far to dismantle 3 Bengals.
Well, you got that little pocket spaceship to get in there and just get the good stuff off the Bengals, so.
And that
Can't wait
thing,
to get a new ship.
But like I say, yeah, that's a big thing. That, I can't believe. Again, folks, don't worry if you're like wondering, are the people buying all these big ships and that? The Aurora is still the most popular and the most numerous in the game.
Yippee.
Alright. So, Arena Commander version, I had to switch this because a new version released and had notes just yesterday. Version 0.9.1.1 is out.
Nice big update for me because we tried to get on and play last night, and Memo got to do updates for 4 hours.
Uh-oh. I better
You didn't
start
miss
that in the
much, don't worry.
background here.
Bear just blew everything up. I just kind of like floated around. I'm like, save me.
So we know the first steps of customizable key bindings for dogfighting and racing. There's more to be released in the future. Backers may now select what ships appear in their hangars. So a lot of folks appreciate that, especially the one who's not here today who... Oh,
Sorry.
we have somebody ambush their way into the picture. And with the first patch, private matches will no longer count on the leaderboards, which is pretty good. They get somebody there always trying to probably falsely acquire a really great score. But just as you can now dogfight with your friends and not have the stats reported. And that's the main thing about the Arena Commander there.
And I don't think I'd want my stats reported either. I'd just like to say, that's nice. Nobody else needs to see that. So that's good news.
Hit percent 0.001.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't do that bad last night. You did really
I
well.
hit the thing
thought.
3 times in 5 waves.
Okay, sorry about some folks in the live show are having problems with audio. Don't know what's going. It seems to be going out okay on this end. I mean, we will get this episode up on YouTube as soon as possible too. Otherwise, I apologize. I would blame Twitch, but I apologize for what's going on.
Can you hear us okay, Namir? Mullen?
I can hear you guys.
Yep. I can hear you guys too, but we can always hear each other. It's the audience that seems to be having issues. I still have never got any through picture of Thamin.
Well, anyway, talking about the updates they made, I've noticed that since they changed how the ships fly and stuff, I enjoy it a lot more now. Now that we got 6 6 degrees of full movement, I like it so much better now. Not having to decouple, to turn the ship and stuff like that. Everything just seems to work much easier.
Yeah. And Chris Roberts made a mention too on the recent patch in my notes somewhere here about the no ship vehicle is designed to go on full burn all the time when you're trying to turn in that. It should take a little input where you're decelerating that. Some of the automatic systems are trying to do that for you, but the pilot has that flexibility too to get the most out of it. I think there are definitely going to be some, even like me, that are still trying to learn the flight system to get it as effective as I can.
I can't wait to. I know I'd mentioned this earlier. There's video out there of the Connie and Arena Commander. I can't wait to get that in there. That's gonna be a little bit more my style. I'll say, wow, this thing's so big I couldn't turn it, so that's why I ran into all those other people. Or that's why I crashed. Well, my guns don't work like that. That's why I couldn't hit it. So there.
All right. Really? I'll tell you what. Now I've got another big thing about ready to come up. The other ship that we've got something new on, a lot of people are looking forward to, the Retaliator. They came out with a gray box video of that 3 minutes here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop that up for everybody. And get that running now. Hang on. Get that running on now, unless the person running the show, which happens to be me, hits the wrong button, and then we have problems. Normally don't do that. Let's give this a try. Here we go. Now we got it going.
we lost him.
Did you hear me open my beer in a second? Bet your yard's fun to clean up there.
What's wrong with my yard?
I bet that you have some heavy duty pickup duty out there.
Wow.
I've got like a 80-pound dog and it's not fun. So,
Buddy. My dog thinks.
All right, let's pull into an. So I know there's a lot of folks eager to get their hands on that Retaliator as well.
yeah, that's pretty sweet as well.
Reminds me of a submarine. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we've had any people that have went with the luxury version of the Constellation. That to me just seemed like a waste.
But it's got a
Ansler
hot
does.
tub.
It
Yeah,
does
it's
have a
hot
hot tub
tub.
and a piano.
Ansler
Gotta hang
has
out
one.
there a bit.
They've done a tremendous amount of updates to the Connie too. If nobody's been in there and looked at them lately, they've totally redone the entire cargo bay. The big bathroom that I loved so much, as far as I can tell, is gone. There are some areas of the ship I can't get to, but the cargo bay is epic.
I got stuck in the cargo bay.
I did too. I had to log out to get out of it.
Ladders don't work.
Did you guys put
I
on
still
the
think
helmet
that-
and then like stand still and look down? Have you tried that
No.
yet?
No.
Because you can see like your feet are there, but then it's overlapping like the bottom of the helmet where that's supposed to be. Because like it's supposed to be here, and you're supposed to just be able to
Oh,
see the
wow.
bottom of the helmet, but it clips through.
User error.
Yeah.
You're not putting the
Hey.
helmet on right.
Did you have it on right side or was it around backwards?
Backwards. Yeah.
Backwards.
To the
think
side.
I hate when I put the helmet on backwards.
The helmet actuator was broken.
The flux
Just try it next
capacitor
time
in
you're
the
in the
helmet.
hangar.
The flux
Just look down.
capacitor.
All right, folks. I'll tell you what. Here's our next big news. 2 more stretch goals reached. Off of that.
Yeah.
And we've got $54 and $55 million achieved. 54 million. We got the 10 distinct AI characters added to the SC universe. Bartender. I was leaving a space there because I knew somebody.
That's
had-
very important to have a bartender in the game. I mean, does this mean we're going to have epic cantinas as well? Nothing from anybody. Come
Hopefully so.
Eh,
Well,
I
heck,
just-
one of the last
mean-
things too is people submitted their drinks, so that's something.
Look, Han fired first. That's it.
on. He did. I agree with Whoop. I got to side with Whoop on Han fired first.
In the original, maybe, but not in the new one. They changed it.
Ah,
In the original, he also had a girlfriend he was kissing on, but no, she can't be in the whatever.
Han fired first. Somebody hacked the footage later and put in that other. It's obviously fake. You can tell it didn't actually happen. So we have 54 million, and the $55 million prize. All backers will receive a ballistic Gatling. So everyone's got a serious gun to add to the collection now. Yeah, so folks, you want to get in and back this game. Don't just watch this show. Back the game, and you'll get in on all this. Don't do it now. Not in the middle
Come
of a
play
show,
with
but
Grievance. Got to do a little Grievance
Come play
plug there.
with
I'll
us
join you. A lot of people
Forever.
really
We
looking
like
forward to
we
it.
like to be played
and
with.
ever.
Whoa.
And they're
sweet, sweet ballistic Gatling
We play
action
well
there.
with others. Missile batteries, hard points, everything.
Oh, God.
and today, CGI, they're in the Guinness Book of World Records, not just as the largest crowdfunding game of all time, but as the largest crowdfunded anything of all time. You know.
And it's still going and going and going. Every time they drop a new one of these ships, I got to tell you, kind of, when I see the new ships come out, kind of draws me back into the game if I've drifted a little away from it, because I go and I see there's a new ship. I got to know everything about it. And some of the ones are, they're not for me, but they're cool. But then one like the Reclaimer comes out, which I voted for, the scavenger, ship when it was just a thought idea and up for vote, and I've been very excited about it since they, announced they were going to go forward with it.
They even had one of the news articles, whatever, on Yahoo. Yahoo never covers anything about games unless it's like Call of Duty or something. Destiny was on there for a day.
How did you see that was on Yahoo? I didn't know people still went to Yahoo.
I'm old.
You're old.
Yeah, the youngest
guy
one in here
on the show goes, "I'm old."
I'm old.
Oh man.
What does that say about you?
I know I'm old, man. You're just delusional. You're a young guy. You haven't even hit the prime of your life yet. I don't know what you're even talking about.
You just think you're old because you have a young baby.
Yeah.
It makes you feel.
Oh, here's one. Maybe one.
Yes.
Maybe one of you guys know this one. Folks were able to vote for the $56 million prize as far as a few perks. Some of them are very specific to certain ships. And last I looked, it was a tight race between the improved cooling system and the Aurora-specific jump engine. But that was before we hit the $55 million, so I didn't really see who won. He didn't announce it in the letter for the chairman.
I didn't see it either.
I didn't see it at all, and that I probably would have read through the first time, and it would have not interested me a whole bunch. I mean, the things with the Aurora. I had an Aurora is what I bought into the game with an Aurora, and they kept putting out newer ships that I liked, and I kept adding to that original money that I put in. I haven't looked back at the Aurora.
I know.
Anybody that has an Aurora at this point, none of us have Auroras, right? Well,
quiet you.
He was nice. Yeah, nice he was to me. Something's gonna happen, and Whoop's gonna upgrade.
I started off spending too much in the game, and it went up.
I want to get the Avenger. I think that looks like a really sweet ship, and I think that'll work well with my play style. With the customizable loadout that you can do and the cargo. But I'm also looking at the 325A. T'Challa was in there,
Both
saying
nice.
that he's got one of those. And it's got the advanced operating system for combat to help acquire targets or something. So maybe that'd help me. But then I was playing with Bear last night, just blowing everything up for me in his Hornet. So maybe I should just get a friggin' Hornet.
Yeah, you would do well in that. But besides you, Whoop, the other three of us, we've passed the point where we can say, I don't want to spend too much money in this game. That ship sailed, a year or so ago, I think, for all of us, if not longer.
And yet something is looming in the future for me.
What do you got coming up, Thamin? Is something you want?
Well, with all the stretch goals, there was a vote for the role of the fourth wave ship that we want to see. And what did a number of us vote on that was leading the pack? Science hospital ship.
Yeah.
And, this was way back. My wife isn't into the futuristic game. She always plays a healer. And so she was like, do they have a hospital ship? I'm like, no. Well, now it looks like it's going to happen.
They have a hospital position.
So now if they come up with a science hospital ship, I'm going to have to get her into the game and get that.
Well, that sounds good, man.
And it was leading last time I looked. I looked kind of early on, but it was sizable ahead of the rest.
It is still sizably ahead. I looked today. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's still way ahead.
It was like 40-some yesterday.
It's way ahead.
I'm going to give a little shout out because it looks like in the live chat we had somebody that was having a problem with the game, and Molin Brigosi, I may have hopefully I didn't butcher that name.
That's Grievance Council member Rep Molin.
Okay. Looks like he found the fix for him and helped him get through it. So, again, thanks. And that's why y'all folks need to come here every other Saturday and hang out in the live show.
Absolutely.
So Molin can fix all of your problems.
All right. 10 for the chairman. And I'm enjoying this. I got some questions here from episode 38 and 39. So if I fly through some of this, one player asked about Dens of Evil in Star Citizen. And, of course, he said, yeah, there'll be shady areas that shy away from the law, seedy areas. Terra has The Block, which has secret stuff, or folks may find things in dark alleys.
Secret stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of secret stuff.
How many people are going to hit straight for The Block?
Oh, God.
I mean, if it's in quote marks, I'm going there. Because, you know, when you see stuff in aerial, visual, in the front of you quote marks, I got to do that. It's just a thing. It's a pet peeve.
Well, it's a sign that's going to say secret stuff, and there's little hands that go like this.
Air quotes.
Well, I find it funny, too. They say, you know, here they talk about seedy areas and dark alleys, and he says, you know, it won't just be a place with an interface screen. It'll feel real. And that's the thing. It'll feel real when the thug comes out and gets on your character. And
that was not well said, Thamin. That could have been said better. Okay, let's move on.
If cargo is ejected, it persists in the instance until the instance is empty and shuts down. So this means you or anyone has limited time to reclaim it before it isn't available anymore. So you have to get your reclaimer there fast. Market. Again, he stressed, we've kind of heard this before, the market's going to have limited availability depending on where you are. Bigger cities have more, but the game system is designed to encourage the traveling, either whether you're buying low or selling high, or to find certain specific items, you got to go somewhere to get.
Well, anything, and we've seen this in games for years, people complain about the travel systems, but the slower and more difficult it is to get from place to place, the more you see of the game, the more cool stuff you find, the better experience you have, even though it does get tedious at points to do these long travel distances. But I'm all for that. I like that. I like minimal port gates to where when you get in the system, you have to get from point A to point B without going, to point Z. You can't jump all the way to there. So that to me is a sign of a good game.
I don't like trade pack runs.
I don't like them either.
You just said that you did.
No, I don't like trade pack runs, but I like going from point.
The whole thing that you just said, walking from one section to the other section, no porting in between. You get to see more experience.
Well, that's what
you like trade pack runs.
You can port around without trade packs. We're getting off topic here. It's another game.
So
tangent alert.
Just kind of talking about that just a second. One of the reasons that people don't like the they don't like having the long transportation times goes back to like EQ1, where we would be playing in one area, JoJo would log off, and I would go over here and play. The next day she'd log on, she's like, I've got to come over here. By the time she got there, I was back over here, and she's like calling me dirty words as she walked back.
Yep. And I have precious few time that I can spend on a game, so in between, kids crying or whatever, I can only play it this much.
Versus age here, I see how it is.
Yeah. That's going to be a hard balance with everything, because EverQuest, it was a long walk, it was a half hour to get from Kinos to Freeport and avoiding the one forest in the dark, and yet then they came out with Plane of Knowledge, and anyone could get anywhere. It was like too easy. It took out the exploration, so it's probably hard for a game to achieve that balance. They're trying to do both. There's a lot of stuff out there in empty space, but if you want to take a transport or something, that's available.
There was a question about Oakmoon. Does the game have an ETA or an ETA for when we will have an ETA? And I don't even have an ETA for the ETA that's going to have an ETA.
We had an ETA for the alpha that was like 3 months late. So
yeah, that is one of the things about the game. I mean, we've been having a fantastic time with the tastes we get of the game from time to time, and talking about, because we talk about this game all the time, not just on this show, and the fact that they interact so much with the backers and people interested in the game, it's like a constant, Star Citizen experience.
I think this is part of the game.
They've now got over 250, maybe 280 people working on this, and everything is getting streamlined and quicker. We've talked, and I still would not be surprised if it's a year before you see Squadron 42 or something that resembles the full game. But it is nice that we still have stages where we can do stuff. They're going to come out with news of the first-person shooter in PAX Australia, so I would love if we could even see that by the end of the year.
Yeah, I would love to see that. That would be awesome.
So
that's something all of us are looking forward to, I believe. We can all agree on that aspect of the game. No, not Bear?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say.
All right. Let's throw out some more time for the chairman, because after that I've got pictures of that battle chair, and I know some folks want to see that. Let's see. Kronos Viper suggested longer-term endurance race for larger ships. Chris Roberts liked the idea, said he'd consider it.
Hooray for NASCAR.
Sorry. Somebody on that note, somebody asked for dangers planet side when you're using a rover. And Chris Roberts said he doesn't know, it won't be day one, but they do plan a variety of encounters out in the long term. So that's
just like
I think
Prometheus.
That's a roundabout yes, just not too soon. Okay. Bounties and reputation will be tied to a ship. So if your gunner happens to shoot up a friendly or non-combatant, just comes back on the ship. So make sure your friends aren't trying to get you into trouble.
Bear.
Why are you gonna come straight to Bear?
You know what I mean.
I'm not talking you to the bad place.
Wow.
Special.
So the name of your ship is called Candy? Is that right?
No.
Yeah, I live in a van down by the river.
But all my carts will be called babies. So Memo doesn't
crates. Your crates will be called babies.
What game are you talking about? God.
You must have not been on that one, Whoop. That was an epic one.
No, I was there. I was making fun of him.
Carts, crates. It all just becomes one thing right now.
All right. Okay, so there's going to be a variety of enemy AI, such as their likelihood of either fleeing or fighting, and it can also depend on your reputation, how tough your ship is compared to theirs. So their Kythera, the AI, is trying to accommodate making it as human as possible. Now here you go. Here's another one about friends trying to get you into trouble. If you have a vehicle inside your ship and it has a mounted weapon, it could be used against boarders, but your weapons can damage your own ship.
Awesome.
So if you got the Constellation, and whether it's got the rover or the Merlin in it, yes, hopefully your pilot decides to get out of the vehicle before they start firing guns on that thing. Okay. Eddie asked about managing hired NPCs. Chris Roberts said you can manage them, but not sure how well you can micromanage them. I mean, they'll fly formations, attack your targets, fly escort, or do ship cargo, but basically they can run missions for you, but Chris Roberts didn't say what they won't be able to do.
Shoot well.
That means they can do everything. I mean, if he didn't specifically say it can't do this, that means he can do everything. Did he do any of this?
So this show is brought to you by Air Quotes.
Air Quotes Incorporated.
Let's see. And can organizations establish a headquarters or space station? He isn't sure that an organization can create a space station outside of a long-term game goal, but he does say there's places going to be set aside that groups, organizations can conquer and claim for their own. There will also be safe places planet side where they can make a guild hall, own a factory, a business, that kind of stuff.
As a guild, we have an Idris and a entire fleet pretty much between the three of us, not including our fleet master Arlia, who has almost every ship in the game. I believe he told me when I said I'm melting stuff to get a reclaimer, I believe he told me, well, I went ahead and got 2, so I had one for spare parts. And I'm like, well, thank you, and there was some cussing involved, but anyways.
That's what he's really looking forward to, the organizations getting a headquarters. That way, like, Grievance can dock all the ships that he wants us to have. And
well, they'll all be his ships, so he can just arrange them as he likes, and their spare parts. I mean, I plan on going him for all my spare parts, so.
Where are you going to be bringing him spare parts, so.
Very true.
Yes. Let's see. Ship Training School. The intention for the final game is Arena Commander is your training experience, but he does mention there will be tutorial-like sequences in Squadron 42.
Good.
They're also planning on creating more videos on their site that help folks understand the flight mechanics and tactics. So, there's hope for us all right there.
Should we just call it Memo School?
Memo School. Nice, Whoop.
All right.
Always ready to take a shot at poor Memo. I see how it is.
You have a reclaimer. Poor Memo.
He did mention you can rent or let someone fly your ship for you, and your insurance will cover it as normal if they are flying, but know the limitations. So, you know, if your cargo, your upgrades, you may lose that depending on what's insured or not.
So pretty much anybody that wants to buy anything can go to rent a ship at Arlia's and try a ship out and see if they like the way it flies, how it explodes, and such.
That might be something fun for like money on the side though in the game. It's like if you got several ships and you're busy flying one, you can still rent the other out. He says there'll be a mechanic in the game as far as players transferring you money to rent your ship out.
Don't they already do that in San Francisco? They rent out cars and like they drive at one place and try to drop it off and somebody else pays.
I think that's national. I mean, we got Enterprise, we have Alamo.
Tangent.
We have all these car rental places. Well,
God, Dad.
Just San Francisco, man. But
don't make me turn this cast around.
We'll come back there in a minute, kids.
All right. He says it might be possible to eavesdrop through voice protocol. He says that, you know, they haven't fully developed their VoIP solution yet. He says it definitely can be made where you can hear nearby conversations. There may be in-game mechanics to try, well, he says to try insider trading, but isn't necessarily linked to the voiceover. I'm just kind of actually go down here. On capital ships like the Bengal carrier, there will be an energy field or barrier where fighters can go through, but it keeps the internal crew safe from exposure, flying out into space.
That's good. You don't want all your crew flying out into space.
And that never works out well.
And that never works out that well. Then the families sue, and it's just a big thing.
I do it all the time.
Are NPCs replaceable? I mean, if you lose an NPC in a accident, are they replaceable? I mean, how does that work? I don't guess we've heard anything on that yet.
That'll be interesting if they can get.
Man. God, you, like if you get boarded by somebody, you just open up all the air vents.
Hey, thank you for giving me a new tactic. I need to write that down. Open airlocks.
Alrighty, folks. So just so you notice,
battle
I'm starting
chair
to
time.
play the battle chair. Yes. So these early shots here kind of show through the process. He got this electric car seat out of whatever the junkyard, and he built this chair around it. So he's got all the cool electronic controls on the car seat, and he put it on a base that he can tip it and wheel it around. And he put all these attachments on it so it can hold the joystick, the keyboard. It's got a hook on the side that'll actually he can just hang the headphones on when he's not using it.
Does it have a rumble?
What do you mean rumble? Rumble.
The whole chair vibrates. That's how you know you get shot.
He's Whoops thinking about a different kind of chair.
I'd have to ask him. I don't know.
So Whoop needs a chair that vibrates. Okay.
So he built. I thought it was cool. Even the arm in front that has the keyboard swings out of the way. Help him get in that, and let's see.
That's pretty cool.
Ah, that's pretty nice. So I'm coming up to the final version, which he also has it all stained and everything.
You like it too? Yep.
All right. Let me mess with this just a bit here, because this is...
What is that a picture of exactly? I never understood. What? Wow, that's...
There you go.
That's interesting.
Sorry, I had to make a last-minute adjustment to that thing there, because it's... but there, yeah, he's got it all stained. He's got... Yeah, he not only put the supports on, he drilled holes, I don't know, the airflow, the cool look. There's room for a drink there, and he did tell me that he's also got kind of a lip to it too. So if he spills his drink, it should kind of collect there where he can clean it up easy. And
yeah. You could change baby sound then. Wait.
That's something.
Yeah, the only thing I don't have shown, of course, he was getting several monitors to set up, and like I say, that's just one chair. His wife wants one too, so he has another one yet to go.
Tell her to make her own. Someone asked, was the stain supposed to make it look dirty?
Oh gosh, oh, it's probably just the camera effect. But with him, I wouldn't be surprised if like a dirty old freighter is what he wants. He grabbed the reclaimer also.
Did he now?
So that fits with that. Yeah, people who fly reclaimers are just used to dirtiness and scrap and all that junk around their ship.
Thank you there, Thamin. Thamin just called me a Thamin over there just called me a dirty old man. Did everybody hear that?
Yeah, I did. I heard it.
Hey, God, don't pull no punches there, Thamin. Tell me how you really feel.
I'm so sorry, Memo.
Not whooping you on tears awesome. Here. Oh, let me see here what they've got. So he's been working on that for a while. Boy, I better speed up.
Yeah, it looks like there's been some work put into it.
Yeah. Way to change the subject. All right.
I found $5 the other day.
Found a what?
And it was an Arthrodon joke. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You got
So, okay, here, let's see. Sandy mentioned... Now, there's no way to say this without somebody mishearing it or their mind. Sandy mentioned there will also be a breathing manager. Your pilot's breathing will react to the G-force changes.
That's in already.
We blacked out like 4 or 5 times last night. I read out. God, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's no joke. And I mean, I haven't changed the volume for the game yet. So it's actually hard to communicate with using TeamSpeak in the game because my guy's sitting there going, and then the breathing and alerts going off. And I mean, it's very immersive.
Same thing in the like Jane's, I think it's Jane's assault ship or aircraft simulator, whatever. When you start pulling more than a G or two, your guy will start breathing really heavy. Your co-pilot, if you got the Tomcat or something like that, he'll like throw up in the back seat. It's crazy. So you got to get the sound under wraps.
Really?
Man.
Oh gosh.
That's disturbing.
All right, let's see. They're in the planning stages of the Avenger variants concept work being done on the Carrack. I'll link this once I get YouTube up, but Darkin got an MVP for a trader's graph, which takes all that info from the Galactic Guides and helps if you're out trying to make a buck trading. So I've already got that site. One of my favorites. Okay. I'm also going to pull up and run. There's a sneak peek here. That's some artwork, which I just kind of love the look of this. Something alien.
Something alien.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut the sound on this here.
You have to realize to the rest of the universe, we're aliens. Pro tip.
Well, look at this whatever this is, like a guy's exploring it in his suit. There's all these triangle-shaped geometry and whatever this thing is. That was the only little peek we got of it, but... Oh, a few other things. Here we
That
go.
looks like something to do with the Vandal.
Let's see. A new video is being crafted for the benefit of newer backers who aren't so sure of the concept, Squadron 42, and other game aspects. Happy 24th birthday to the original Wing Commander, which started the road down this way.
Wow, that makes me feel old. 24 years.
Oh, here's something that was funny. So the Broken Moon Arena Commander map has doubled in size. Now, keep in mind, the ship speed was doubled not too long ago. So, the speed has doubled and now the map has doubled. Where have we gone?
But there is actually a big difference because a lot of the times you're not going to be going at max speed, especially when you're trying to turn. Because now when you turn, your speed automatically slows down. So the doubling the size helps out tremendously. Whoop and I saw that last night because it seemed like every time the enemy would spawn in, they would spawn in close to one side or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to fly there to try to get there quick. And if you were coming in too fast, it was hard to slow and turn around so you didn't hit the wall.
Yeah, they're already acquiring you and getting information to attack you in their direction. So when you fly past them, they're turning and using the 6th axis. So you got to do that too.
Yeah.
There's no way you can hit them otherwise.
I'll have to get
You're
my
blacking out
practice
the
in
whole
on that
time.
thing.
Maybe we could do that for one of the casts, is have all of us in there flying together. That would be pretty cool.
I plan on
everybody's
getting
gonna
something like
update it.
that arranged here soon. You know, we're getting close to something else got set up, so I'll try to fly through the monthly reports here. They're working on everyone's ability to stay on target and their lead prediction and such. They are working on
Stay on
something that
target.
will help more easily create custom paint jobs in the future. And they're also designing game modes from Arena Commander that don't simply focus on dogfighting. They get involved other ships that might be either their cargo capacity or their scanning abilities, things like that. So we're going to see other players, other things having a focus. I'm going to throw up a few pictures here. There was a mining drone that they kind of shared a picture of.
Only if you turn too many G's too fast. It's okay.
It's only your co-pilot, not you.
They did say that the Starfare got a much-needed design, and it came off more heavily armed with extra rear belly turrets on either side.
That's what I need.
Belly turrets?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. They've got this picture of the UEE Banshee, and I'm thinking this is the new look of the Idris. I'm not sure. Somebody in forums was saying it, and realistically, I don't know. But that's the UEE Banshee. That's what's written on the side of the ship.
That could just be the name of the ship. It could be anything, right?
Right. Yeah, I figured the Banshee's the name. And as we're looking at it, I mean, it looks like it might have the forward and backward
launch
launching area
for Hornets.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the new Idris. I think that's one of the ships that's going to be in Squadron 42.
I'm definitely thinking it does have that look. I mean, that could be, as long as it can launch some ships. The good part is good right there.
Wait, really?
I think it was just trying to decide, though, was it an Idris or was it something else? I wasn't sure of the redesign of the Idris.
Put 42 on my ship. Ooh, you're playing single player.
And someone in, Vox think it might be a Corvette, might be smaller. Okay, the Shubin mining facility is so large it has 26 landing pads located around it, and any one of them the player can land on, get out, and walk around.
That sounds like Arlea's, hangar.
This was funny. A bug of the month. They had this problem where if you flew your ship around for a period of time, it would suddenly explode for no reason. Even when they...
Yeah, that's what kept happening to me.
Even when they...
No reason.
That's your excuse and you're sticking with it. Okay.
Yeah, no reason. Just go boom!
It was even when they had an empty level, nothing else in there, the ship would eventually blow up. And they finally discovered that it was a flashlight, which should have been attached to the player. and had suddenly gone rogue. It was colliding with the interior of the ship and doing a tiny piece of damage every frame until eventually, yes, it blow up and could even take down the mighty
rogue
Hornet.
flashlights. They'll get you every time. I'm always thinking rogue flashlight, rogue flashlight, rogue flashlight. So I'm gonna write that down. Rogue flashlight when I explode in any game from now on.
There you go.
Too awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to put that down as my excuse. Oh God.
Rogue flashlight.
All right, let me go over
flashlight.
this finale statement that Chris Roberts said. It was too good. It was like, he says, I sometimes get asked why I continue to raise money. Haven't you already raised enough to make the game? And the answer is that Star Citizen isn't a normal game. It's a normal game. It's not being funded like a normal game. He's had to toss aside his knowledge from the old way of developing and embrace a new world. There's no publisher, no venture capitalist wanting a massive return in 3 years. There's no need to cram the game onto a disc and hope they got it all right. Star Citizen is not the type of game that will be played for a few weeks, then put on a shelf to gather dust.
I hope so.
Instead of building the game in secrecy, they're fully open with the community. It's made this game possible. We can involve the future player base in the creative feedback loop as they develop and iterate these core systems. And as a group, we are all involved and united in our quest to make this the best game possible. And he says, I have a lot of industry friends pat me on the back and say it must be great to be operating a profit even before you ship. And their look usually turns to incredulity. I'm not the best at pronouncing some of these.
Incredulously?
When I explain that my intention is for all the money we bring in before launch to be spent in development. It's the community, from the existing backers who continue to support the game to new members who join every day, who are setting the level of ambition and budget for Star Citizen. Every effort is about enriching the game's vision. So you're still getting that game, no question, but it'll all be richer and so much more immersive because of that additional funding. All right. Last thoughts before we go?
Rogue flashlight.
Rogue flashlight. And remember, folks, it's cold in space.
Not all of it is cold. It's not. Keep telling you, you're not protected from the UVA, UVB, UVC rays. They do be cooked from the inside.
Yeah, you can't
I
even
was just
say
talking.
that.
I was just talking about
A, B, and C.
the comments in chat. Well, it was something.
It looks smaller in the Idris. And Memo
Is that
said
what
it's
she told you?
cold.
No, Memo said, "Well, it's cold in space."
Oh, that's
Maybe
a tangent
it.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay,
cold.
folks, thanks for joining us. Don't forget, see you again in 2 weeks on October 18th, and week after that, October 25th, our 24-hour marathon for Extra Life.
I think we should
Rogue
all get together
flashlights.
and play that. Go play
We
this
should.
game all together for the thing. That'd be
Yes.
awesome.
We should.
We should donate $1 each time each one of us die or something like that.
Oh, dude, don't got it.
Okay, they should donate.
All right.
No, it's time
Thank
to
you,
break me.
folks. We'll see you in the verse.
Thanks, folks.